Mhm.
ॐ नमो हिरण्यवाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतये उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः। ॐ नमो हिरण्यवाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतये उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः। ॐ नमो हिरण्यवाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतये उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः। ईशानः सर्वविद्यानां ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपति ब्रह्मणोऽधिपति ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो। ईशानः सर्वविद्यानां ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपति ब्रह्मणोऽधिपति ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो। ईशानः सर्वविद्यानां ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपति ब्रह्मणोऽधिपति ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो। तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। महादेवाय विद्महे रुद्रमूर्तये धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। Hey. Hey y'all. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Hey, we got a new moderator in the chat room, Jay Lawrence. Hello, what's up, Ebony? Hello, everybody. And Patricia. Hi, Patricia. Hello. All right, so let me just get through the introductions. I am Tarot Queen Jamila. Welcome to the Daily Tarot. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you need a private reading, the link to my website is below. Also, I do offer hex removals, cleanses, curse removals, love work, protection, money work. So if you guys need to reach me for a consultation, the link is below. Hello, Samantha. So today is Tuesday, and I was too emotional. I was way too emotional yesterday to do this, but I wanted to do daily readings for like the theme. And so today is War, Conflict, and Competition Day. And I want to see how you guys are either resolving your conflicts or how you're dealing with your conflicts. And I already threw an officiator, and what I got was the 9 of Swords in the reverse position. So first of all, unless you have a very, very powerful enemy that you just can't look away from, you shouldn't let your enemies keep you up at night, you know? And so it was crazy because last night at about 3 a.m., I was about to fall asleep. And then they were starting something. So y'all saw that video that went up, and so blah, 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 blah. But the 9 of Swords in the reverse position is the officiator over this reading for everybody. We're going to throw the cards. I am using the Pagan Tarot deck. This is what the 9 of Swords looks like. And see, this is kind of like when you're worrying, okay? When you're worried about your enemies and your competition, okay? And being in the reverse position, it could mean good or bad for some of you. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the cards for all signs. I'm going to get started. Spirit guides, ancestors, guardian angels, what messages do you have for the Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces? What messages do you have about their enemies or maybe some kind of conflict in their life? What messages, what general message do you have for each of the zodiac sign today? For Tuesday, April the 2nd, 2019. Hey, we got a Leo in the house. Hey, smarty girl. Hello. And Samantha Christmas. Oh, you know, I've been thinking about, y'all, I've been using a lot of my Christmas stuff. For real. All right. So the spirits are doing a lot of shuffling today. Normally they don't shuffle that long. Uh-oh, cards is flying out. Hey, Bridget, Capricorn in the house. Hey. Jay Lawrence is an Aquarius. What's up? I love Aquarius. I do. I love Aquariuses. My grandma that passed away is an Aquarius. All right. Okay. Still shuffling. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up as well. Not that they're going to show all my live views. All right. Let's see what we got here. Wow. The first 5 zodiac signs got major arcanas. And then the Virgo got the Initiate of Wands. That's hilarious. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Let's see what we got here. So first of all, the Aries, you guys got the Death card. So I feel as though you're dealing with a really, really, really tough situation. I feel like you are at the end of some kind of battle, though, because the Death card and things towards the end can get really, really ugly. Okay. And so your enemies are just so dead set on destroying you. I mean, they throwing all kind of stuff at you, Aries. They throwing fire and boulders and rocks. And also your enemy is possibly a Scorpio. Okay. Your enemy is possibly a Scorpio. For some reason, I feel as though you, along with the Taurus, you guys are settling things possibly in court. For those of you that aren't doing that, you're kind of like going through the motions. A lot of you Aries are understanding the spiritual lessons that you are learning behind this conflict and this competition. Give me some more information. I'm gonna throw 3 cards on each sign. I'm gonna go ahead and take my time with this one. I don't want to rush through it, so we're not gonna rush. Yeah. It's all fun and games till cards start flying. So Aries, some of you might be dealing with a Virgo that is your enemy, or either a Gemini, or it could be another fire sign because the Ace of Wands is in the inverted position. So I feel as though your enemy is also somebody that has like this love and admiration for you. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell that a lot of you Aries, your enemy is your ex and their current girlfriend or boyfriend. That's your enemy. That's who you're battling right now. I feel like you have to push forward your willpower if you want to get through this, and then you'll have success in the next day or so. Okay. With this Gemini card coming up, you know, that tells me that it's got to be some kind of love triangle situation. And somebody's definitely trying to contact you. You can tell they're trying to get you to make choices that, you know, they want you to, even though they seem to have somebody in their life, they still want you to choose them, which is ridiculous. So you got to be strong, because especially if this is some kind of love, like I feel like this person is trying to get you to submit some kind of weird arrangement that you're not happy with. Okay. You know, especially if that person wants you to be their side piece. Okay. Especially if this person wants you to be their side piece and you don't want to. You like, no, I don't want that. And they, you know, they're really, really pushing and pushing and pushing. And some of you, this is at work, just primarily where you're going to pick up a lot of your enemies. If it is somebody at work, you can't give up. You can't, you know, you can't give up. I feel like it's a situation where if you look back at it, You're going to think, oh, you know, that happened for a reason. So a lot of you guys are at a crossroads, and it's almost like your exit. It's like this is your opportunity to exit the situation. Some of you aren't going to take that opportunity, and some of you will take that opportunity. So it just really depends. You know, whenever this Lover's card comes up, you could either choose either way. But while you're making that choice, you just have to believe in yourself. Now, if you are on a unrighteous mission, which in my opinion, unrighteous is it doesn't serve your divine spiritual purpose. So you may be doing it for unrighteous reasons. And see, that's what that is. That's when it doesn't serve your divine purpose. So some of y'all need to let go. If it's a mate, y'all definitely, if this is your love life, you definitely need to let that person go. And maybe you can hook back up with them later. If this is involving work, you just got to be strong. And I can definitely see folks is trying to get you fired. And it is something to do with discrimination. Okay, but you just have to believe in yourself and see, oh, that's another thing spirits are saying with this Ace of Wands. You need to feel your right. Like this is when you're like, hold on, I got a right to do this, it's not that you have a right to do this, but it's almost like they don't want to give you your right to exist at all. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm here just like you here. So, and you have to feel that inside of you. You know what I'm saying? It's when you know your rights, you know what I'm saying? And then things will fall into place. Same thing for the Taurus. You guys are dealing with some sort of legal battle, or it could be something that's coming back in from the past or the past life. Remember, guys, I told you, you have to tell yourself that your past is not going to determine your present, okay, or your future. So this is past life transgression. A lot of you Tauruses are dealing with karma, okay? Yeah, you're dealing with karma. And that karma don't necessarily have to be good or bad. Well, of course, I feel like it's bad because the devil and the death card is right next to it. But you're dealing with past life transgressions. You really are, some of you. And then some of you are dealing with a legal situation. It might involve divorce. And so I'm going to throw a few more cards so we can get some more information. Spirit guides, what specifically is going on with the Tauruses with this Justice card? I know that's right, Regina. Yeah, you got to choose yourself for real. Yeah. Four of Swords and these two air signs. You've been at war with them. It's got something to do with your mind. All of these are air sign cards, which talks about your mental and your mentality. And so the Four of Swords comes up. And this is where, you know, you're fighting some kind of battle. And I feel like it does have something to do with some kind of mental battle. And you know how when people say it's all in your head, y'all dealing with past life transgressions is what y'all dealing with. And this stuff is in your head. It's in your subconscious. Because, see, the novice is the knight. So these are thoughts that are roaming through your head. Especially those of you that have either Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius moon, or somewhere in your chart. Now, if you have an air sign moon, okay, if you have an air sign moon, okay, hey, Yaya. If you have an air sign moon, then these are things that you can't stop thinking about. And it's because you're a Taurus. So these are subconscious things that it's almost like there's a war going on in your head. You do have actual real life enemies. Those enemies and those chess pieces represent everything that's in your mind. This Elder of Swords is definitely a spirit guide that's trying to guide you and to lead you. What are they saying, spirits? See, they trying to guide you. This is an ancestor. So they're doing a lot of the work for you. And I feel like a lot of you just really need to lie down and rest. What is this novice saying? Because they're saying two conflicting things. Okay. Something to do with the elemental of chalices. This is a water sign person. For a lot of you, justice. Well, now, first of all, a lot of y'all are dealing with a Libra, but some of y'all are actually dealing with a water sign person. And I feel as though it's time for you to let that go. You know, there's the wheel keeps spinning. And you need to, you know, sort of get that war out of your head. It's all up here. You know what I'm saying? And this person really is not throwing any bad energy at you. So the enemy is ultimately you. I feel like the Tauruses and Taurus people do have a tendency to do this, to where they will hold on because they're Earth. That's what they do. They stay fixated. They're Earth sign. They hold on to stuff for a very, very long time. In fact, all of the Earth signs in general, what I would say is that you guys hold grudges for a very long time. All of you, not just the Virgo, not just the Capricorn, but you guys too. You guys hold on to grudges, okay? Yeah. Clarify this Four of Swords. Yeah. So there's like this inner turmoil. Look, you see all these air signs that's coming, all these air cards. There's like an internal struggle, and it doesn't have to be. And see, I've got, where do I have Taurus in my chart? I am a Venus Taurus. So I am a Taurus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yes, I fell out with my Taurus friend of 25 years. That's because there's this war going on in their head. And, you know, Tauruses like to do everything. They just like to do everything, you know, themselves. But then they need to sit down and allow somebody else to take care of them instead of just. And then also, whatever it is that you got going on with this water sign person, you need to take it as a lesson and move on, because that person has moved on. I feel like that person may have ran into some money, and you're just kind of like, I can't handle it. You need to go ahead and just, because see that, you know, that represents the seasons and the seasons of change. The wheel also represents all of the equinoxes. Okay. It represents all of the equinoxes. And oh, another thing is, if you're fighting a legal battle, like if you're suing somebody, you're going to win. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to necessarily be in that turmoil. You've already done everything that you're supposed to do. If it is a legal case, you're going to hear from the attorneys, and they're going to tell you that you won the lawsuit. So there's definitely a lawsuit. I feel like you guys are going to win the lawsuit, but you guys need to move on still. Everything that I said still counts. But Spirit just told me that, especially if you were discriminated against. Because there's a such thing as spiritual discrimination. Let me tell you how you can carry your past life with you. It's like gum stuck at the bottom of your shoe. Literally, through the cosmos, that's how you can describe spiritual karma. Like in the last lifetime, if you stepped on a piece of gum, and then you walked into the next lifetime, that gum is like a string that's following you to the next lifetime. And you're sitting up here wondering, well, why in the hell I haven't did anything? You ever wonder, you know, why people are attacking you? And you're like, I didn't do anything, and I didn't do anything. But when you look into your past life, then you'll see why. And then you just have to ask that spirit, which is you from the past life, and then all of those other spirits. You have to say, hey, that was my previous life. I may have been an axe murderer in my previous life, but I'm good in this one. Darn it, I learned my lesson. That's kind of what y'all dealing with. Okay. So that's what's up with y'all. Moving on to the Geminis, you guys got the Devil card. So your enemy is sort of in a way overpowering you because you're just obsessing about it way too much. I understand that the gems are, they're very, very cerebral people. They're always thinking. Okay. See, I've got Gemini in like 2 or 3 places in my chart, I think. And sometimes I have to stop myself from thinking so much. So that's what y'all gonna have to start doing. Y'all gonna have to stop yourself from thinking so much and thinking way too hard. Okay, and to the point where you're obsessing, and then I feel like it does have something to do with money, or either some kind of possible sexual perversion. So some of you might be getting visited by a succubus or something. Yeah, when that Devil card come up, it can be a unfamiliar spirit, you know, which is what causes intranquility. Let's throw some cards around it though, because the Devil can represent, the Devil card can represent spirits of your ancestors contacting you as well, is what it can represent. And then it can also represent being called to be freed from those chains. Because a lot of times your captor is ready to let you go, but you say, nah, this feels good being right here. But it's not good for you. It doesn't serve your divine spiritual purpose. Okay? Spirit guides, give me some clarity for the gems. Okay, cool, Ray. Yeah, you guys got all inverted cards. You got the sun in the reverse position. So this is really, really, really interfering with your joy, your peace, and your happiness. And so the way that we can all tell, Gemini, that you're going through it is because you're just being so cold and evil and mean to everybody. And so people are just like, that person, they just need some time to think about it. They'll get over it. You got the 6 of Swords in the reverse position. So there's a journey. There's some kind of moving or relocation or something that's coming up. And then there's this water sign person that just keeps running through your head. They just, yeah, you can't, yeah. And you've got either they've got jealousy for you or you have jealousy for them. I feel as though this has got to be possibly either your ex or either a coworker. Okay. Either an ex or either your coworker. So I feel as though that's why I love to use this pagan tarot deck. The illustrations are just amazing. You see how these two people, the male is dressed in black and the woman is just dressed in white. And see this red person right here, those are your enemies. You see them? And you see the chick with the blonde hair. And it almost looks like the chick with the blonde hair is like over a cauldron or something. You see that? You see how the person in the green, you couldn't even see her at first until I pointed her out. She looks like a bonfire. So I can see somebody with blonde reddish hair and they're doing spiritual work on you and they're fighting back. And let me tell you something. It does not serve your divine spiritual purpose. It's time for you to walk away. You're wasting your energy. Your energy is low. You know, we need to stop and get some health because things are not going well. And they do seem to be overpowering you. Okay. Especially this blonde chick in the back. Look at her. She is doing some serious work on you. She's standing over a cauldron. And this one, let me tell y'all something. And I'm going to do this eventually because I'm planning on getting me a very large cauldron. And when you see somebody out in the field and they got sticks and stuff and willow sticks and all kind of trees and sticks, and they done caught that sucker on fire and they done put that big old cauldron on top of it. Okay. Because I feel like you're pushing for something. You're pushing for something that you should have moved on from. See, that's why this 6 of Swords is in the reverse position. Okay, you say you're a Gemini. Yeah. That's why that Six of Swords is reversed, because it's time for you to push on and get your mind off of it. You are just constantly obsessing over this. And sometimes that's how your enemies can get you, because nobody can sit there and just stay focused on that all the, you do what you got to do. Even in war, that's what they do. When you see them out there in combat, they go out, they pop their weapons off, and then they go back and they get some rest and they eat. And then they say, and then the other enemy is like, hey, but it seems to be that people are walking away. You said, don't do it. It seems like people are saying, we've been beating on this dead horse for so long. I can't do it anymore. And then some of you, it does have something to do with your child, in particular, your son. But you got to understand that sometimes your enemies, they're fighting a righteous battle. I feel like whoever this is with this goldish, like reddish hair, that person seems to be fighting and they're definitely moving in silence. You can see them, boy. Y'all see that? And I never noticed that before, how they have the blonde chick standing over a cauldron, but it's actually this lady's head. You can't see her because she blends in. Okay. Y'all see that? All right. So that's the advice for the gym. I'm gonna throw an advice card. I'm gonna throw an official advice card, which I think is this moon card, but we're gonna, what final advice do you want to give to the Geminis? You need to give yourself time to heal. If you continue on this path, you're going to create all sorts of illnesses, including mental, physical, and spiritual. Okay. And you also need to get in touch with your spirit guides. That's why I'm here. So people will be like, oh, you over there doing those psychic readings and stuff. But a lot of times I act as a liaison between you, because sometimes you're not able to hear it. You ain't able to hear your spirit guides and your ancestors because you right here. How are you going to hear them when your thoughts are constantly crowded? And there's some people that can't clear their mind and stuff like that. Oh, that's not good. So a lot of y'all need to get some help with that, because you got something bad that's on you. Okay, exactly. Cancers, you guys got the Fool card. So I feel strongly that a lot of you Cancers are having a new beginning. You're trying to move on, but your ex wants to reunite with you. It's just all it is to it. They don't care what happened. They just know that they want to merge with your energy. They want to become one with you again. Oh, it keeps freezing. Okay, Samantha, well, you can watch the playback. All right, give me some clarity for the Cancers. A lot of y'all Cancers have done something that a lot of people don't agree with too. So remember yesterday on April Fools when I went over the Fool card as the major arcana of the day? Give me some clarity. I'm gonna lay out a few more cards so that I can get the full picture. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Somebody is in their feelings. Somebody is angry. They're resentful towards you. It's either going to be water, air, or maybe even a Capricorn. Okay. You got the Five of Cups reversed. You got the Seven of Cups reversed. You got the Five of Swords reversed, and you got the Elemental of Chalices reversed. And this is perfect because my baby needs me. And so I'm going to come back and finish this reading for the Cancers, and then we'll move on to the rest of the sign because Jacob needs me for something, guys. I'll be right back. What did you need, sweetie? And Chucky. Thank you, doll baby. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Okay, guys. Cancer. You in danger, girl. No, I'm joking. Yo, ex done put some kind of something. You got 2 5s. You got 2 5s. You got the 7 of cups in the reverse position. And so you can tell that a lot of you are possibly making the big mistake of possibly reuniting with the enemy in like a lovey, because Cancers, they'll just love you. Like you do stuff to Cancers and we'll just be like, oh, the love. Oh, baby. Y'all can't do that because, you know, this is involving either your career or either your emotional and mental well-being. Those things come first. So don't be a fool, Cancer. You know, even though you like that feeling of reunion, you know, the Cancers love that feeling of reunion, but I feel like there's somebody that's taking you through an abuse cycle. And this is no joke. And you have to worry about your emotional well-being, not anybody else's, Cancer. Okay? Because you have to take care of you. And that's just all it is to it. And this person seems to be, whoever it is, they're water or air. Let me see what advice the spirits has for it, because the elemental of chalices comes up in the reverse position. So I feel like I'm possibly looking at the past. And then also this reading is very positive, especially with all of these cards coming up in the reverse position, just to let you guys know, because you can tell that possibly these things were in the past, but whoever this person is that you're dealing with, they're not going to change. So a lot of Cancers will think, well, I can change. You know, sorry, guys, I had to jump off camera real quick. Hold on, guys. I got to wait. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on, guys. I need a brief intermission. I will be right back. Okay, I'll put a song for you. Thank you, smarty girl. I will do this one. It's the life-changing.
Big trucks like this can weigh up to 80,000
Probably
pounds.
the same
These drivers
mantra.
break the rules, it can cause injuries.
It's just a different version. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Bear with me.
नमो हिरण्यवाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतये उमापतये पशुपतये नमो.
Okay, I'll do the thanks for you.
ॐ नमो हिरण्यवाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतये उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः. ॐ नमो हिरण्यवाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतये उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः.
Done talking. Did he go back upstairs? Okay. Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm sure y'all was enjoying that groovy beat. Let's get back into the reading. All right. Let's throw an advice card for the Cancers. Your enemy, Cancer, seems to play on your emotions. And they seem to play on things like your body image. But you know, moon children are round. So you may be a moon child and you're going to be round. You're going to have a round stomach probably. And, you know, you can tell that it's a Cancer because the chest, you know what I'm saying? You know, the way our chest, even the men have like these, something, you know, is different about the breast area of the Cancer, even with the men. It just stands out. And so they play on that, and then they're able to get you in an emotional place, especially those of you that have a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces moon. You got to work on that. That's what I did. I realized that my Virgo moon had me worried about money too much. So I fixed that. I began to meditate. I did spell work. I did the spiritual work that it required, because sometimes your planetary alignment can be a challenge. Okay. My baby boy he's a Pisces. He got a Pisces moon. He got a Pisces everything. I was like, whoa, when I saw his chart. So what it does is it causes genuine unhappiness. But, you know, the Fool reminds us to have trust in the universe and have trust in the process and just take it as a, you know, you got to let stuff roll off your back. You gotta learn to do that, because, you know, clearly it's got to have something to do with love. But then also I can see career with this 7 of Cups in the reverse position. So, you know, this is why whenever you get a job, Cancer, it's always a man or a woman there trying to seduce you. Just like, yeah. Or they play the damsel in distress. You know, people know how to get to Cancers. You know, I need help. I need you to help me. And then the next thing you know, that person is doing you in, and you like, then you got to call into work and stuff. I'm sorry. I'll play it again. I'll take breaks because I don't want to rush these readings. And if you guys don't mind, if you're watching the playback, I would love for y'all to put the timestamps in there. Maybe I'll do it myself. I'll take the time to do it myself. But if y'all want to volunteer your time, you're more than welcome. So what it does is when they say something, when they're angry or when they're processing their own emotions, because you're very empathic naturally, Cancer, when they're processing their emotions, they send it through to you, and instantly your brain, you know, responds to it. It you know, because that's the first place that it hits. But then, see, when you're a Cancer, you can feel your emotions. Like, I'm sorry, you can feel your thoughts. Like, you can think about a memory from years and years ago. But if you do that, if you ever think about a memory from years and years ago, Cancer, that hurt you, then just let it come out. Cry it out. Cry it out. You know what I'm saying? But if your enemies, what I can tell is that you're definitely in battle. And like I said, it's possibly one of your exes. What it does is it goes straight to your heart chakra, and then you're just, you know, you're in a place where you're just hurt, you know, and I can tell that they're messing with your emotions and then your body image and stuff like that. And like I said, Cancer girls are just round, you know, we're just round. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all want a tummy tuck, you know, and you know, I've thought about getting one, because you think, especially if you done had, you know, 2 or 3 babies, you know, and you kind of got that little kangaroo pouch or whatever. And so a lot of y'all, you know, your body would probably be near to perfect if you didn't have that extra, you know what I'm saying? But you do have it. And so that, you know, you can learn to embrace that. Advice for the Cancers. Five of Pentacles. So you guys need to stop allowing people to make you feel insecure. Got to stop doing it. Okay? Stop allowing people to make you feel insecure. That is the advice. Your self-esteem, your security comes from within you. And you may have to do some grounding, but not just grounding. The Five of Pentacles is when you need to contact your ancestors and your spirit guides. Okay? Because some of y'all ex could be causing money problems, because they're speaking it on you because they want you back. Oh, I hope everything don't work out for that person, because I just want this person to be in a weaker position so they can come back to me. Don't fall for that. You know, have that self-confidence in yourself. So a lot of y'all being stalked at work, I can tell you, by your co-workers, your ex, because for some reason it's really, you got all 3 of those 5. So a lot of y'all need to do a hex removal. Okay, a lot of y'all need to do that, especially if y'all thinking about going back to that situation or reuniting. You got something put on you. Okay. So that's for those of you that are dealing with a love situation. Okay. Leo's got the Hierophant. So you guys have sort of the same situation. You know, either people are messing with you because you're tall, you're short. You know, and Leos are actually some of the most messed with people. Like, people just mess with you because you've got this huge beam of freaking energy around you. You know what I'm saying? And so people gonna come for you. And so the Hierophant represents when a person doesn't necessarily fit into the crowd, but they still rule the crowd. So the Hierophant is actually one of the most spiritual cards that you can get. Now, the Hierophant also represents when you're dealing with a Taurus, because naturally, Taurus, Virgo, Leo, Cancer, and Scorpio, they say are the 5 most powerful signs. That's what they say. Okay. And so naturally, the Taurus is probably going to be your enemy, Leo. Naturally. You know, you're the lion or the lioness, and the Taurus can sometimes, they can be the hyenas sometimes. I swear to you. Okay. Seriously. So let's throw some supporting cards so that we can get more on the situation. Spirit guides, what show me what the situation is. Give me some more information. There's, you know, guys, I'm going to talk to you guys about that a little bit later. A lot of the clarifications that I have to do and the reason why I have to clarify so much, because there's so much energy and information being transmitted. Okay. So you got 2 major arcanas and then the 10 of wands, the stars. So Leo, you are always the center of attention, of course. Okay, so you winning. The 10 of wands. A lot of y'all are either dealing with family members or either you're dealing with at work. Coincidentally, what I've noticed is that whatever is going on within your family, for some reason, it seems to manifest at work. For some reason, it's almost like, are you the spirit of my uncle? What's going on here? Y'all notice that? I've noticed that at every single job. And I feel like a lot of you Leos are like leveling up and y'all are like being promoted. You're like being promoted. And, you know, your enemy is like, well, that person, you know that this person, so I can hear them, right? And they're saying, well, you know that this person is on, you know that person was on government assistance because you get ready to get a job that's paying a lot of money. So a lot of the people that are surrounding you, they're like, well, what makes you think that you can get this now? You ain't never got it before. See, that's a test. That's a test when you think about it. Because, you know, everybody's going to do that. And then you're thinking, well, wait a minute. You know, just because I didn't have these things years and years ago doesn't mean that, you know, maybe that wasn't the right time. Maybe I had to take some time to go through a spiritual journey or a spiritual process. And I feel like your spirit guides are definitely telling you that. So the high priestess comes up. So I feel like a lot of Leos are definitely winning. Y'all winning. Or we winning because I got a Leo rising. So yeah, absolutely. So let me throw a quick advice card for the Leos. I don't know why that moon card keeps ending up on the bottom of the deck. That's so weird. What advice do you want to give to the Leos? Some of you guys are not just being promoted, but the star can represent, you know, running for some kind of office. It can represent politicians. It can represent artists. It can represent painters. It can represent rappers. It can represent singers. It can represent a poet. So you're being recognized for your talent, and you know, it's lonely at the top. So, and then also I feel like with the 10 of wands coming up, that there is definitely a situation to where the people around you, they don't want to take responsibility for their own behavior and their own actions. So really, I think the advice is going to be that you only have to lead by example. And as long as you're leading by example, you all good. And see, I already know it's folks following you around. You know, that's what the high priestess is. You see how it's like a shaman, and then you can see that the goddess is behind as a higher spirit. And then you see the people that are learning from that person. And, you know, there's certain things that is happening that, you know, I feel like, first of all, let me clarify this 10 of wands, because that's I'm going to clarify 10 of wands first, because I'm going to put I'm going to be able to see exactly what it is and what the issue is. Give me some clarity on this 10 of wands. Something to do with work, or either something to do with your family. And what they do is they try to make you feel insecure, but they're not really trying to make you feel insecure. They're telling you that they're insecure. They're just telling you that. But that doesn't mean that you have to feel that. You have to learn how to rise above that. And that's what you guys are doing. I really do feel that that's what you're doing. But you can tell that it's an earth sign. And like I said, the Taurus is going to be your natural enemy, especially when it comes to work, competition, you know, because the way that you prove that you're something is if you beat the strongest person. So that's why they all want to fight with you, right? But that part of it has to do with your higher spiritual purpose. But then you have to understand that you're a leader. And that's just all it is to it. I mean, literally, just know that you're a leader. And when you can stand in that power, even though sometimes it gets you down, sometimes you can just be like, you know, don't you get upset or punish yourself over their confusion. And then also a lot of you are picking up on that. A lot of you, you know, with the star card, there's a higher spiritual calling that you have. And so what you want to do is you want to take all of that energy and you do want to put it into your creativity. So that's why this Elder of Pentacles came up. You're not supposed to take that energy and allow it to destroy you, Leo. You're supposed to take that energy and let it work for you. Advice for the Leos. Okay, get out your feelings, Leo. Take care of yourself emotionally. Then when you think about it, the emotional aspect of this doesn't really have much to do with it. I'm going to tell y'all something. Leos are very emotional, especially if you have either a Cancer moon, a Cancer sun, or a Cancer Venus, or just Cancer in your chart somewhere. So, you know, this is an elder that is giving you very wise advice. Y'all see my beef tongue chart in the back. I know y'all like, what is she doing over there? I know y'all like, what in the world? Okay. Moving on to the Virgos. So you guys got the Initiate of Wands. So first of all, this is a spirit guide, and it really is an initiation. The spirits themselves will initiate you. That's why, and they will lead you to certain spiritual leaders that can go through that process. And I'm not saying that that process is not good at all. So you can do that, but I feel like you're definitely being initiated. And I feel like whatever this is, it is to bring change. The Wands represents fire. Fire represents change and transformation and even transmutation. Spirit guides, give me some clarity up. Woo, good Lord. I've seen a couple of different cards. You got to branch out, Virgo. You got to break the status quo. You know, you got to break the cycle. I can already see that. Spirit guides, give me some clarity for the Virgos. Give me some more information. What is the energy surrounding this Initiate of Wands as well? We'll throw a card for this Initiate of Wands. Three of Swords. Seven of Chalices. The Emperor. And Temperance. So you've got a very important position coming up. This does have something to do with your career, but it also for some of you, and the same thing could be playing out in both your love life as well as at work, right? So it could be the same thing playing out simultaneously, or it could be either or. I do feel as though whoever this Initiate of Wands is though, they're seducing your partner. They're like literally seducing them. And the reason why is because you're allowing them. Is the reason why. Because what draws them in is somebody that recognizes the emotional aspect of it, because Virgos are not emotional people. I mean, you got to do a lot to bring out the emotions in a Virgo. And when you do, it's totally healthy. It is so healthy. And they even will say thank you for that, you know, because they need to release that stuff. A lot of you been single for about 7-10 years. Y'all still heartbroken over the past. You're still desiring somebody from the past that broke your heart, but you're only being a masochist. You need to let that stuff go. Okay, is what you need to do. The 7 of chalices comes up. For those of you that are having issues at your job, you're meant to be the leader. So that's why you're being initiated. I know, Virgo, I know you just want to sit and you just want to, you know, do your little work or whatever. You want to do your transcriptions, or you want to do your secretarial work, or you want to do your, you know, the simple things. You don't want that responsibility, but it's meant for you to have it. So the Emperor comes up. And what the Emperor is saying to you, Virgo, the Emperor is saying, take your position. Take it. Own it. Own it. Own your position. Because right now, your enemies got you kind of broke down. And I feel like there is a spirit guide, you know, kind of like through me that's telling you that. And then Temperance is representing, I feel like it's representing you trying to do things too fast. Quit rushing through life. That's the problem. You know, if it's 10 o'clock, you waiting for it to be 3 o'clock. If it's 3 o'clock, you just waiting for the day to be over. You need to live more in the moment. Virgos have a serious problem with that. That's why the 2 of Pentacles in this deck, which didn't come out, but that actually represents somebody that's doing it. It doesn't matter what zodiac sign you are, but Virgos have a tendency to do that, to where they're not necessarily embracing. And then also I can sense that a lot of y'all not happy with y'all job. And like you're sitting there at work and you're just watching the clock all day because you're not doing enough. So it's time for you to step it up. You know, you're not being spiritually, or you're not being stimulated enough by what you're doing. And then it's almost like, because things didn't work out in the past, you just decided, well, but you know what you want. So you have all of these wants and desires. Okay, you have all of these wants and desires and you want them, but guess what? You're not necessarily manifesting it. And the reason why is because you're holding on to stuff too long. As soon as you let this go, then things are going to blossom for you. And you just, and then also you have to kind of take it a day at a time. Because you notice how when I was here the past couple of days, because I got a Virgo moon, just to let y'all know. And I had to work through that. I'm actually working through it right now. You know how people say I'm still working on myself? Well, that's really the reality of it, is that you're still working on yourself. And so for me, I didn't want to rush through these readings. And, you know, even when I do my readings that I record, I want to talk slower so that people can understand you. Okay. And then also, you know, you got to get past this hurt and this pain. That's what's holding you back. Those things were meant to teach you a lesson. You have so many other choices. Hold on, guys. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on, you guys. Sorry, y'all. Jacob the jeweler was messing with me. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I do have kids at home, guys, so that's why I get interruptions sometimes. Please forgive. Sorry, y'all. Jacob the jeweler was messing with me. Hold Perhaps I should do commercial work. You know what? That is actually a very, very good idea. That I should have some kind of commercial for either the website or something else to play in between intermissions and stuff. All right, give me a second, y'all.
Namah Shivaya. 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 Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Shivaya Shivaya.
Doesn't Shiva? Okay.
Shivaya Shivaya Namo. 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 Shivaya.
Okay, guys, I'm back. I just wanted to do that for like 4 or 5 minutes to do some clearing and get you on that Shiva frequency. So Virgo, this is perfect advice for you. You have a beautiful office. You have these beautiful things surrounding you, but you're this, you know, you're like, you need to take the time to sit and breathe and just pay attention to your surroundings. You also, what Spirit is saying with this card is that if you just have like, you need to put something with a meditative quality in your office. Sitting there looking at file cabinets and stuff, you know, that's not going to do it. You need to have like something there so that you can have like a focal point. And you can see this lady. Okay, she's being patient and her glasses are like glistening and she's just kind of kicked back and she's kind of relaxed. The pentacle is in the back in the upwards position, showing that, you know, she's grounded. And this is actually your sign. Okay, the pentacle is an earth, you know, that's the same. That's the same thing that represents the earth sign is the pentagram, is the pentacle. Okay, it is very peaceful, isn't it? I love that one. I do. I'll link it in the chat if you guys want the link to it on YouTube. So you guys just need to kind of, you know, you're on that road, but see, Virgos have a tendency to just worry every step of the way. Every step of the way. And it's not going to do you no good worrying about it because the outcome is still going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you manifest. But see, you know, your own emotions are like, you know, manifesting a lot of the stuff that, and see, these are memories that go all the way back to, you know, a very young child. So for me, when just recently, when somebody tried to touch my hurt inner child, I actually got in contact with my inner child and I healed myself. I started to work on healing myself. So that's what you need to do. And so everything happens for a reason. And once you can do that, then you can, you know, not carry all this stuff to work with you, not carry it around with you anywhere. You can actually release it. So it's funny how the zodiac signs are supposed to be a certain way, but then everybody seems to be opposite of their zodiac sign. Virgos are supposed to be very well-grounded people, very successful. Okay. And just, you know, y'all supposed to be like a rock. And then when you look at the cancers are supposed to be emotional. They are, but not emotional in a negative way, not emotional in an angry way. But if cancers feel the need to cry it out, then just do it. Stop holding that stuff in. And so Virgos could actually use that advice as well. Okay, from a Cancer that has a Virgo moon. And then some of y'all with an Aries moon, and then Temperance actually, what zodiac sign does I think Temperance represents the Aquarius, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And for some reason, you know, because you know, these cards are made up of science. So I always like to Sagittarius, some of y'all that have like a Sagittarius moon, you know, you're very sensitive. Sagittariuses are very sensitive. Like I'm telling you, if these people even detect one little like one little grain of a problem, they cutting you down before you can even bring that problem to them. But see, it's your job to deal with problems. That would be just like me saying, I'm a high priestess. Quit coming at me with your problems. Absolutely. I'm a high priestess. I'm tired of these people calling me with their emotions. Well, I mean, come on now. That's what's kind of your job. So the Emperor is saying, take responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of those things that you want will manifest. Virgos love houses. In fact, I think houses were invented by Virgos. And so a lot of you guys, you see how, like, I don't know why this card, it makes me think of big houses. Because Virgos can be very claustrophobic. It's like, I'm looking at 4 walls and I'm getting ready to flip and flip. So a lot of y'all, you know, you really need to, I don't want to say you need to quit tripping off of the past, but you need to heal from the past. You need to heal. And the only way you're going to heal is if you stop thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's in your interpersonal relationships. I mean, I've had people that have done me wrong. I've had my own mama do me wrong years and years and years ago. And I was able to forgive and move on from that. And so you guys have to learn to forgive and forget, because remember, y'all hold, but those grudges don't hurt your enemy. Those grudges are hurting you. Because instead of you understanding that this is a part of your process and you're being initiated, and this is just a part, because everything ain't gonna be perfect, and nobody is perfect. Instead, you hold on to the negative that happened within that process, and then that is what ends up holding you back. Okay, mentally and emotionally. And I know, because I've dealt with my Virgo moon. And coincidentally, both of my parents are Virgos. So your moon sign is related to your heart chakra, and then also your root chakra, which is your mother and your father. Okay. And to be honest with you, you know, they don't have to carry you through that. You know, I've seen people do it. I've seen people send their kids out into the woods and it just go and survive, especially if that kid doesn't really understand how good they have it and they're taking everything for granted. So you have a tendency to take things for granted, Virgo. You do. You take everything for granted, including yourself. Libra's got the 2 of Wands. So I feel like with the Libras, I feel like whatever it is that is going on with your competition, I feel like there is a very healthy balance between you and your competition. Okay. And the 2 of Wands represents a lot of you, you know, understanding and learning to, you know, depend on self and your own personal willpower for yourself. It's never meant for you to destroy your enemy either. It's never meant for that. So you can just let that go. It's your enemy represents everything inside of you that needs to be destroyed, that is within yourself. That's what they represent. And a lot of people are obsessed with kill, death. You know, I want this person to die, or, you know, go to jail and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, you know, all's fair in love and war. Now, I can also see that a lot of you are dealing with a very, very tenacious fire sign individual. Spirit guys, give me some clarity. So yeah, nobody else got any. All of the first 5 signs got major arcanas as their main cards. The rest of you guys did not get major arcana, so I'm going to do some clarifying for the Libras. Give me some, oh Lord, stuff is flipping. Wow. Look at what happened to my deck, y'all. What in the world kind of crazy mess are y'all Libras doing? Y'all just all up and down. But there's definitely a method to you guys' madness. Give me some clarity for the Libras. Okay, God, the cards are just falling all over the place. Okay. Okay. Six of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, the Elder of Pentacles. There's a water sign that you need to learn. That water sign is meant, whoever this Elder of Chalices is, this person represents your spiritual journey, and they represent something that you need to look at within yourself, is basically what they represent. So I don't want to say they're a reflection of you, but they actually are. They are a reflection that you need to look into. So the Hermit is saying, look inward. Look at yourself. I'm sorry, the card is weathered, y'all. Y'all see that? The Elder of Pentacles is bringing in the wisdom of self-sufficiency, something involving money, something involving being a leader and not a follower, because the Six of Wands comes up. I do feel as though a lot of you seem to be holding on to something. That Seven of Pentacles may have something to do with this earth sign person. And then even this water sign person. The Hermit kind of represents when you're dealing with somebody and the enemy is going to be you. So you have enemies, but you know, you have enough backup and all of that, but whatever is bothering you is going to be you. Nobody else is doing anything to you. Okay. Now, if you walk up to somebody and you talk crazy to them, that person has the right to defend themselves, but they didn't just come out the gates attacking you. You know, so like I was saying, if you go and look at you guys as who's your enemy reading, the enemy was actually self in that reading. Okay. And, you know, as far as, yeah, that's really all I can see in that. I mean, I can clarify. I want to know what exactly is going on with this Seven of Pentacles spirit. Give me some clarity on the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. The High Priestess is in the reverse position. So there's something that either you're waiting on or something that you've been putting a lot of your energy into that does not have anything to do with your divine or earthly purpose. It doesn't. You're putting your energy into something that does not serve your purpose. It doesn't. Okay. In fact, you're going in reverse and you're not even seeing it. And your intuition is trying to tell you, but you know, what you should do is put your energy more so towards your creativity. And then you'll start to see things blossom. And just give yourself some time alone. You know, the Hermit represents when you need to possibly separate, take a break, and, you know, listen to yourself and take a really, really good look at yourself. Okay? Is what you have to do. It has to do with self. All right. Moving on to the Scorpios. You guys got the Three of Pentacles. So a lot of Scorpios, I feel as though a lot of you are practicing alchemy. You seem to be working with either family members or either co-workers. And you're taking all of those energies and you're doing alchemy on it, which is good. So the Three of Pentacles is actually very positive for the Scorpios. Give me some clarity. I'm going to lay out some more cards. Also, I can definitely see three people. The number three can represent a coven. Okay. And a coven can be the mother, the maiden, and the crone, or either, and this is a female card, or either the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, which it should be the Father, the Son, and then the Hermit, maybe. I don't know. But I can tell that you have 3 people, and those energies combined, they're definitely there, and they have a purpose. Spirit guides, give me some clarity on this 3 of Pentacles. What messages do you have for the Scorpios? Because a coven can be either 3 members, 6 members, 9 members, 12 members. The Elemental of Pentacles. So you've got an enemy that is an earth sign, and they seem to be messing with you emotionally. The Ace of Cups is in the reverse position. And see, that means that what you have to pay attention to is that you don't want to miss the jump, because we have a new moon coming up in 3 days, and it's on the same day of the last day of Mercury retrograde. So there's definitely a leap forward that you guys, there's something that you're holding on to emotionally. And then the Magician comes up in the reverse position. So spirits are definitely saying that you need to use alchemy. And then also you need to make sure that you are covering yourself, because see, what a lot of people don't know is that there's a lot of people practicing black magic. And a lot of them don't like me for spreading awareness. They're like, We're on the Scorpio right now. What's after the Magician? The Strength card. So you never, ever, ever should ever have the belief system that your enemy is able to curse you, or that you can't reverse what your enemy did to you. And so a lot of people will do that. And so a lot of you Scorpios have been, one way or the other, whenever the Magician comes up, you've been practicing some esoteric knowledge in some kind of way by either going to a practitioner or doing it yourself. Y'all need to be careful, Scorpio, though, who you go and pay your money to, because I can sense that a lot of you are going to go pay your money and you're going to get little to no results. Okay. The Strength card represents not strength in the physical, but strength in the mental. And that doesn't mean that you have to sit and obsess over them all day. If you're constantly in meditation all day trying to attack your enemies, congratulations, they just stole your life. Okay? I'm going to jump off camera real quick, you guys. I'm still talking, though. Congratulations, Scorpio. Your enemy has just stole your life. You should not have to sit all day and think about, obsess. Not all day. Because you have to be balanced in life. It can't always be all warfare. Okay? Even soldiers go and have fun, and they have beers, and they celebrate the fact that they won a victory. But it seems to me that that's one of the things that your enemies have been able to do. They have been able to overpower you, and you do need to use alchemy. The Strength card is another alchemy card. Strength card is a very deep card when it comes to alchemy, because it's alchemy of the mind. And alchemy of the mind can be very, very, very challenging. Your enemy is not necessarily physically pointing a gun at you, but they're pointing spiritual energy at you. And then how are you going to handle that? So you have a new type of enemy, don't you? And you've realized it after going through the anxiety, after going through the, you know, the ringer, the emotional stuff, the, you know, just all of that. So what you have to do, especially if I can see an earth sign that perhaps is jealous of you and they may have put something on you. I can also see, Scorpio, your enemies. Your enemies are attacking you through your children. Yes, they are. Your kids is talking all crazy to you, acting up in school, stuff going on. You need to put protection around your family. The Strength card also represents protection. And I feel like a lot of you must be kind of relaxed on that because, you know, Scorpios are very strong people. This is, did I say Scorpio earlier? I know that Scorpios are one of the most powerful in the zodiac. So when you think about you being a Scorpio, just like when I think about me being a Cancer, you got to think about Raven on that video game Injustice. And you notice how Raven is, she has empathic powers. And Raven actually reminds me a lot of Lilith because she wears purple and her powers come out as a purple light, like a dark purple light. And so, you know, you got to learn how to sting your enemy because you have that ability inside of you, and it's called your protection. If your enemy attacks you, you can't be so emotional and feel bad and say, well, I'm gonna feel bad if I hurt them, but they hurt you. And that's the only way you're going to get spiritual growth. And I'm telling you, because otherwise they'll just walk all over you. And then also you need to also understand that once you've went through that process, that you don't have to keep going through it over and over again. You've already learned this lesson, but you need to practice what you've learned. And so that's why Magician is in the reverse position. And then also a lot of y'all don't understand that a lot of people use witchcraft, even people that are in the church. They light a candle and they say a prayer. Same difference. Only difference is that if you're a practitioner, you can manifest things a lot quicker. And so that's why they were able to manifest this emotional, you know, distressing situation. And then even today, you probably are feeling a little under the weather. You need to start paying attention to these days of the week. Because I can definitely see at least 3 people or more, and they definitely casted something out on you, you know, probably yesterday. And see, we're in a crescent moon right now. So, you know, crescent moon magic is quite powerful. It's quite powerful. If you go ahead and just stand up and face the lion, then it's going to weaken your enemy, and it's going to weaken your enemy's desire to come after you. And, you know, they may go someplace else, but that's something that you don't necessarily have to be concerned with because that is that other person's spiritual journey. So a lot of people will say, well, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and destroy this person so they don't bother nobody else. But see, that's not your job to do that. Do stuff that's your job. Okay. All right. Your job is to experience prosperity, stability. And you need to be confident while you're doing it. Okay. And then, so when you look at this card, Scorpio, you can definitely see the triple goddess aspect in this chart. I mean, in this card, I say chart. The crone represents stability. The mother represents pretty much the same thing that the maiden represents. The fool, you know, alchemy, not alchemy. What does she represent? She represents, what's the word that I'm looking for? She represents a transition, but she also represents guidance, being a leader. Okay, that's what the mother represents. Okay, and then the maiden represents somebody that just takes on any challenge. It's like, you know how kids are very resilient, and you know, so that's how you have to be now. Even though a lot of you may have gotten older, that doesn't mean that you're weaker just because you're older. You can tell yourself that, but that's not the proper thing to tell yourself. Okay. Sagittarius has got the 9 of Pentacles. So right now, Sagittarius, there is a very, very lucrative money offer that is being made to you. And I feel like this money offer is going to lead you into a pool full of sharks. And so you have to be prepared for that. Okay. So everything that you've went through up until this point has been preparing you for that moment. And let's throw some clarifiers, because I definitely see a lucrative financial opportunity, or either a job, or maybe even an investment. Spirit guides, give me some clarity for the Sagittarius. So whenever you do that, it's going to naturally start to attract enemies, which a lot of times it's what's in your mind and your heart. 5 of Chalices, the 8 of Wands, and the 10 of Pentacles reversed. So a lot of y'all have been taught to sort of fold down, Sagittarius, and kind of give in to the enemy. And, you know, you've been kind of taught that generationally. A lot of you guys, you know, the instant you deal with this, then out comes the emotion. But you need to, you know, not put the, what you need to do is you need to deal with whatever this 5 of Chalices is about. But you also need to keep it moving. You need to focus on the project at hand. Okay. You need to focus on the project at hand. And then pull out enough willpower. But see, the problem, the willpower, I feel like you either learned it from your mother or your father. It's like a defeatist attitude. And I can see money coming to you guys, but I feel as though that money can either slip through your hands very quickly. You said, where am I at? I'm on the Sagittariuses. That money is either going to slip. Oh, a lot of you will emotionally eat or emotionally spend. There's like this anger that you have, Sagittarius, that is related to either family or either a group of friends or either people at the job. But that's something that you're going to have to get past, is that anger. Because for some reason, people are able to touch it, because what you do instead of deal with it is you avoid it, you put it away, but then your enemy can, you know, people can see it. And what they do is they touch on that emotional aspect of yourself, and they're able to mess with you. In particular, if you have a Virgo in either an earth sign, or either if you have a lot of fire in your chart. Okay. You say you're the anger girl. Who's a Sagittarius in here right now? Safa Jama, I did Taurus. It's at the beginning. So you should be able to go back. If you're not, you can just watch the playback. This 5 of Chalices represents anger and emotions that you're holding on to. And a lot of y'all are just like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But see, when those people touch those emotions, you go ahead and you release it and you cry it out, and then it'll be cleansing. Crying is cleansing. Take it from a Cancer. I know what I'm talking about. And you don't want to be thinking in your mind, because crying is almost like a ritual. Crying is almost like your body's natural healing process. And so you don't want to go through that healing process. And especially if a lot of y'all been holding back those emotions for years and years and years, the more you delay it, the worse it's going to hurt. And I learned that when I burnt my finger. Because the vinegar was what helped. I used white vinegar. As soon as I put that white vinegar on it, I don't know why, it just cooled it down instantly. I mean, so vinegar is very good for that. So you're welcome. You're welcome, guys. So yeah, I feel like you would be okay and you would actually manifest all that you want, but you have this anger that you hold on to, and it literally causes you to lose time in your life. And you just, because the more and more you avoid it, the more and more that anger is going to build up in you. And, what you can do to start working on yourself is definitely meditating. And if meditating brings tears, then you just cry it out. And sometimes when you cry those tears out, your nose will get stuffy. You just feel awful. And you're just like, oh, I don't want to feel this way. But it's important to go through that process. And each time it's going to get easier. Yeah. Seriously. Sometimes I'll cry during my rituals because it's a release. Like a lot of people, and I've noticed that a lot of people will say, well, I'm out here at war and I'm in conflict. And so, but this is stuff that you do when you're alone, and it doesn't really matter. Because a lot of people think that crying makes you soft, but holding it in is going to turn you into, I don't know, holding it in ain't good. Clarify 5 of chalices. So they can play on your emotions. The Hermit comes up. What? I'm going to order a new deck. And then the Lovers comes up. So there's definitely a gateway that's being opened and a crossroads that's being opened for the Sagittariuses. And as soon as you deal with yourself and you work on yourself and you work on that, and then also there's definitely it's something that you've been holding on to, but it's because it's meant to teach you something. So once you learn the lesson and it taught you something, then you don't have to repeat that process again. And a lot of you are repeating that process. You're repeating it over and over again. And yeah, it does sometimes take a repeat, but it's time to just go ahead and break the cycle. Some of you are dealing with past life transgressions as well, is what the Lovers can represent, as well as the Hermit. Okay, so a lot of y'all are wondering, well, why is this happening to me? And and you just got to talk to your spirits from that past life, and you've got to. A lot of people will think you crazy if you sitting there talking to spirits and stuff, but I do it all the time, and I don't care what people think. My kids are used to it now when I go into ritual and stuff, and they'll hear me say certain things in ritual, and it's not bad things, because when I'm in ritual, I speak good things. I rarely want to do any kind of black magic, and I try to do what's called gray magic these days because, I just don't want to deal with it. It's something, once you let it go, you don't want to keep reopening that wound over and over again. You want to go ahead and let it heal and then go ahead and move on to the next phase in life. Because I've done that before. I swear to you, I've went through some things that should have probably killed me or destroyed me. But, time heals all wounds. Time heals all wounds. It does. Moving on to the Capricorn. So Capricorns, you guys got the Initiate as well. So what I can sense is that what you're dealing with your enemies is supposed to be something that is supposed to take you to like the next phase. That's what the Initiate represents. The Initiate is somebody that is offering something, but at the same time, they're trying to receive something. So a lot of you are going through a transition, I can tell. And it does have something to do with money as well as work, but it also has to do with your health, your well-being, your stability. And so I can sense that a lot of you Capricorns are very grounded, but let's throw some supporting cards because this is definitely a spirit guide. Okay, speaking directly to you. What messages do you have for the Capricorns? You must be doing something wrong. Well, okay. So, Six of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and the Four of Cups. So a lot of you are definitely at a crossroads at the moment. And this has something to do with a lover in the past. And you're telling yourself, if this person don't come back to me, I'm just not going to ever be with nobody. And I'm just not going to ever experience love ever. And so that's actually the wrong thing to do. So this is kind of the reason why spirits is kind of holding you back a little bit, because you've closed off your heart. And that's not the correct thing to do either. It's not. And I feel like a lot of you have been hurt in the past. And so so what this would equate to is apathy. Is to where, you know, you just don't care about your emotions. But if you neglect your emotions, then you're going to be in big trouble. Okay, again, when you look at the symbolism of the pentacle, it represents earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And, you know, when it is in that upright position, you are ascending and you are leveling up. So the Two of Swords actually represents the crossroads again. And then this dark figure behind the person is saying, which way are you going to go? I'm going to cover up your eyes so that you can use your intuition and you can listen to your own voice before you make that decision as far as which way you're going to go. And you definitely don't want to go this way. And so a lot of you Capricorns are dealing with the prospect of having money, but then again, no love. So if you, now I do see you guys coming into some money, but if you don't make a choice and a decision to understand what is going on with your love journey, and if you neglect your love life, that's not good either. I've been telling people that for the longest, because right now you've got some emptiness about yourself, you know, when it comes to that. Okay, you've got some emptiness. And I do feel as though a lot of you are sort of saying, I'll never love again. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Even if it's the wrong person, you still did it. Okay, even if it's the wrong person, you still opened yourself up. And then that's going to open you up for. So what people will do is they will get hurt. And then their first reaction is, I don't want love no more. I don't want to try anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. This is too hard. But that's not what it was meant to do. So I can see a lot of you taking care of your financial situation, which you really should be doing that. Absolutely. But this month, you're definitely going to have those emotions and those feelings that are unfulfilled and unmet that you're going to have to meet in some kind of way. And unfortunately, sometimes whenever the Four of Cups comes up, this is a person that is getting ready to go out there and piss a bunch of folks off when it comes to love. Because see, you're carrying those bad emotions from the past with you, and you can't do that. You know, honestly. And see, I know that when I say that, it sounds like it's easier said than done, but I do represent the Chariot, and it's hurt a lot of my lovers in the past have just been extremely hurt by the way I'm able to just keep it moving like stampeding horses. They can't stand it. But that's the way that you got to be sometimes. And it's not that you're, you know, saying, well, screw you or whatever. And, you know, heal yourself from that situation. Even take the high road and apologize so that it's off of you. You know what I'm saying? And apologize to yourself. Forgive yourself. Because something is going on emotionally whenever that Four of Cups comes up. And you don't never want to be unfulfilled, because that means that your spirit is unfulfilled. What final advice do you want to give to the Capricorns? Okay. You got a water sign that's coming into your life, and they're going to need for your heart to be open. So love is coming. I see a water sign coming. And please don't take that person for granted, because they really are a very sweet, kind person. And if you test them and if you push them, you know, they may be like, well, what the hell is wrong with you? You know, and then you're, I can't believe you just said that. What's wrong with me? Well, wait a minute. There is something wrong with me. So they can just ask you an innocent question like, what's wrong? Ain't nothing wrong. What you talking about? Something wrong? What you trying to say? Something wrong with me? So they're coming, but you have to be prepared. I say within the next month. And you just, if you don't do something about that, that person will leave. They will. They'll walk away. Okay, I'm going to take a quick music break, kind of decompress from that reading a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and finish up with the Aquarius and the Pisces.
Namah Shivaya. Hare Om Namah Shivaya. Hare Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Namo. Shivaya.
Yes. Hi guys, I am back. So let's get to the Aquariuses. Aquarius has got the 7 of Wands. That's not good. Your enemies seem to be blocking you, which means that you're dealing with much more powerful energies and enemies, and you're dealing with a barrier that has been put up, and it's been put over your spirit to where I feel like, you know, you're just kind of stuck where you're at. You know what I'm saying? You stuck there. Spirit guys, give me some clarity on the 7 of Wands and some more information about what's going on with the Aquariuses. Oh, I love that one. I love that one. It sounds like he's saying I love Shiva sometimes too. Very beautiful. I love Shiva too. That energy is so powerful. It really is. I meditate with Shiva every Monday. And then I also do a wolf protection spell. Guys, I did a wolf protection spell yesterday. My dog had went outside to go to the bathroom, and then, you know, and as soon as I did that wolf protection spell, she just all of a sudden just popped back up. So, you know, spells do work, and speaking stuff into the universe and then asking your ancestral spirits for protection and help does actually work. Okay. All right. We're going to do some clarifiers on the 7 of Wands and then see what else is going to see. 7 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles in the reverse position, 5 of Swords, 3 of Swords. We on it. Let's see what's the next card. 4 of Chalices. Aquariuses, y'all got some kind of either career goal, but your confidence, you know, your enemies have been able to, you know, if anything, destroy your confidence. You know, that's not good. And they've been able to get in your head. The 5 of Swords comes up. And, you know, the 3 of Swords and the 4 of Chalices does represent disappointment. There's definitely something either with love or career that's going on for the Aquariuses. And I feel as though it's got to either be fire energy, water energy, earth energy, or it can be air energy, because Aquariuses can go with any sign, to be honest with you. But I feel like there's things that you want, and there's things that you want to do with either your career or your life, but your enemies have been able to basically destroy your confidence as far as like your ability. And then also the 5 of Pentacles can represent And what I feel like what it's representing is definitely physical appearance, which means nothing. Physical is just physical. That don't mean nothing. So even if you're quite different from the other people around you, you know, you still can, you know, basically brand yourself, you know, you really can. And you don't have to come at it from a perspective of where you're insecure. You really need to ground yourself. So I would have rather saw this Five of Pentacles and in the upright position, because at least, you know, you're trying to find some kind of solution. When it's in the reverse position, in my opinion, it's worse. And then the Five of Swords, and then the Three of Swords. So there's some disappointment. And then I can also see, you know, spirit guides are, a lot of y'all are seeing 3s and 5s a lot. So there's like a repeating message that keeps coming through your spirit guides, and definitely 7. Y'all keep seeing 77 and stuff like that. And the reason why is because there's certain messages that are encoded, you know, in those numbers. Okay. And 4 chalices represents being in a place of unfulfillment. And then I just don't care. And you know what? That's actually sometimes good for you to go through that process of I don't care. So in the case for the Aquariuses, a lot of Aquariuses are very emotionally, you guys are emotionally sensitive people, just like the Cancer. That's why Cancers, it's a very, very close resemblance between the Aquarius and the Cancers. Because the Aquariuses are the water bearer, right? And then also all of the air signs sort of represent duality and then also balance. And so, you know, with a lot of these cards that's coming up for you guys, this is stuff that you need to release out of your mind and your body and your spirit. Because you don't want to end up in a place, and it's not necessarily about competition with you guys, because as long as you're happy with it, then we all happy with it. I don't care if it's a trailer park, I'm sorry, a trailer by the lake, or, you know, or a mansion by the lake, you know, or, you know, it doesn't matter. If you feel good about it and you feel accomplished by it, then it's good. It don't have to be a big old house. It don't have to be that. You know, a lot of people are doing the minimalist living, and that's actually good. But I feel as though you wouldn't necessarily have the self-confidence to, because you're kind of stuck in that place to where you're like, okay, you know, I want the biggest house. I want the biggest this. I want the biggest that. And I just want the biggest everything. And that's beautiful. But the problem is that energetically, because your money is your energy all day and every day, your money is your energy. And if your enemies are able to keep you stuck, and I feel like this has got to have something to do with things that went on in your childhood and things that you were taught. And then you kind of realize, well, you know, what I was taught before is probably not going to necessarily jive with what's going on now with, you know, because things can change. People's opinion can change. Your direction can change. Things change. People go through phases in life. That's exactly what you're going through. But this is a lot of negative energy, and a lot of it, especially these 2 air cards, you know, there's kind of like this struggle within yourself. Hello, Angelique. Welcome. And you just got to have the self-confidence. The cards that stand out is the Five of Pentacles. And then, because see, what ends up happening is that, and then I also feel as though a lot of you possibly, whenever the Five of Pentacles comes up, this is unrequited love. Maybe you were dealing with a narcissist, but you know, you can't allow that to ruin your heart or either your thoughts of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Either your thoughts or your feelings and your emotions surrounding self. You can't let that do that. Okay, you have to allow those things to build you up. Okay, so that's the Aquarius seals up, and I'm just about to do the Pisces. Last but not least, the Pisces. So I saw this in the love reading. The Pisces got the Ten of Swords. So a lot of Pisceans are going through it's either somebody betraying you and or it's either you betraying yourself, because these are things that are in your head. Now, like I said, it can be extremely difficult when you are like the black sheep of the family, but you know what? You chose it. So you're going to have to own it. So I can definitely see that a lot of Pisceans are going through some things. It could either be divorce, breakup, friends betraying you, friends trying to hold you back. In particular, I can definitely see either earth or fire or earth, a fire sign or either an earth sign. And they seem to be betraying you. And I'm going to throw some more cards. Spirit guides, give me some clarity on this Ten of Swords for the Pisces. You guys are definitely trying to break a negative cycle that was put on you or in your mind by your father and your mother. The Moon card fell out of the deck, and then the World card. So you guys are it's basically supposed to bring you closure. What else, spirits? Give me some clarity on these cards. Yeah. So you guys got the Moon, which means that you need to pay attention to your moon sign. And then also a lot of you seem to be like wounded in some kind of way, and like you guys need to get closure. And I feel as though what it is that your enemies can change your perception of the world, and that's a problem, because you may be feeling or thinking something that might be being put off on you, and then that subconscious is what you're walking in, and you shouldn't do that. I feel like at some point, you know, this is about growth, and allowing your subconscious fears to control you is not the way to go. So the World card represents when somebody is balanced. I love this illustration of the World card. I love it. The two figures, the man is in black, the woman is in white, which they can represent one person, which is why they're on a platform. And then you've got all of these different energies that are circling them. And you still have to find your peace within that, don't you? A lot of the Pisceans are natural empaths. And so another thing that you want to do is you definitely want to start protecting yourself. Now, a couple of other cards came out. The Novice of Swords. So this represents things that are in your mind that you can't get out, and you're constantly trying to work through those things, but for some reason they just kind of stick to you. And these are definitely things, I feel like the moon card is either going to represent your mother or is going to represent a powerful influence that seems to be casting a dark shadow. And the more and more that happens, the more and more you sort of manifest this Four of Pentacles, which is totally not, that's totally not who you are. Give me a second, y'all, because this reading is very confusing. And I can sense that the situation that you're dealing with is very confusing. And then you're also under psychic attack. I feel like it possibly started yesterday. And so if you've been emotional, it's very important for you to let it out, is what I will tell you, is another thing that the moon card is telling you. Especially after you've went through something traumatic. If somebody has done something traumatic to you, you are never to internalize it. You don't have to go and call that person and cry on the phone with them, but you can go and you can talk to your spirit guides and you can cry. You can call and you can talk to me and cry it out. Probably need somebody to talk to about it, is what I can guess, because I've been seeing this going on for the Pisces for like the past, like, I don't know, that love reading that I threw for you guys for April was pretty bad. So a lot of you definitely are going through some things and you're getting closure, which can be the most difficult thing. In particular, if you're getting closure from an air sign. And, you know, you can tell that you're dealing with a very telepathic person. And you need to put up your armor. I know that I did a empath protection spell. I've got it on the website. I did that for myself. And most of the stuff, because, okay, call me crazy. And I know a lot of people do, and that's okay, because that's a compliment. But y'all remember in the TV show Charmed, and y'all know how Phoebe was an empath. So she could feel certain things from a distance, and she could feel things, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's not quite the same thing, but what she had to do, she was very, very messed up for a while. Really, really messed up. Like, it just, things would come in randomly. She was getting all kind of stuff. And it was actually good for her family and the covenant, what they were doing, because she, you know, she was the seer of the family. And so eventually she had to get that stuff under control. Eventually. Okay. Who is that? Oh, it's you. Okay. I thought it was your brother. So what I can sense is that, you know, with the Knight of Swords, this Knight of Swords is definitely a spirit guide. And I'm a little confused about what that spirit guide is saying to you, because it seems like it's being overcrowded by a lot of different other static. So I'm just going to clarify. Spirit, give me some clarity on this Four of Pentacles. Okay. So you're definitely at a crossroads to where you're letting go of a bad person. This person kind of kept you emotionally up and down. And seemingly that can be okay, but only for a little while. So I feel like either you're going to have to change your reaction to the situation, put up some protection. I personally wouldn't be dealing with somebody that's deceiving me, but everybody has their own thing. I had a brief affair with a Pisces years ago, and I wanted to be his girlfriend, but he already had a girlfriend. And the girlfriend was actually cheating on him. And so, you know, he just held on to that girlfriend. He did. Thank you, Yaya Coconut. And you know, I never heard from him again or whatever, but it was really sad because, you know, it was just like, but, you know, again, And it took me like upwards to 8 years to get over that too. That was back then though, you know. And so I say that to say that Pisces people have a tendency to hold on to negative things. You can definitely see that there is a lover that seems to be showing up in this reading. This does have something to do with your love life. If it has to do with your job, then it's the same thing, because I feel like a lot of you have to possibly either work with people that you don't want to necessarily work with. You know, in particular, if you want a career in social media can be a very dangerous place. You know, social media can be a very, you know, you're going to meet all kind of people in social media, because that's what rules right now, especially if you have your own business or you're starting your own business. And even though those other people are there, you have to be able to function and to learn how to function, because you can see there's a troll, which is the Page of Pentacles. There's a fairy, which is the air sign. There is a blue thing sort of floating up, and then you've got the reptile right there, which is the fire sign. So, you know, learning to, and as a Cancer, I had to learn the same thing. So that's why I know what I'm talking about. And sometimes it's not the answer to tear down and destroy. Sometimes the answer is to coexist. You see what I'm saying? That represents coexisting. And you definitely need to lead by example. Otherwise, you're going to continue to have the same result that you've been having. And this is definitely a creative blockage for a lot of you. Especially if you're dealing with a group of people and you're trying to convince them that you're great. And sometimes you can waste a little bit too much of your time on that. And I feel like a lot of you guys are not necessarily doing the alchemy that it requires. I feel like that's why a lot of that is coming up, because you know that you cannot change people. You can only change your reaction to them. So whenever you do spiritual work on your enemies or something, or like you're trying to change them, unless you're doing a reverse one, you know for a fact that somebody done casted some magic out there on you. I'm just going to tell you guys right now that witchcraft is the new thing and everybody is practicing it. So you know, that's all a part of learning the ways of the world. Okay? And you got to get up to speed with them. You do. But another thing is that you seem to be allowing this group of people, or either psychic attacks, which could represent yourself, because you're definitely working it out. But I can definitely tell that a lot of the Pisceans are under psychic attack today in some kind of way. Okay. And this Four of Pentacles represents materialism in some kind of way, and that's just not the way you guys do things. You guys don't typically do the materialistic. Okay, and then you're probably trying to compete with your enemies. Who has the biggest TV? Who has the newest car? And for some reason, you know, those things are, you know, those things seem to be affecting you in some kind of way. And for me personally, I'd like to have one of them old hippie vans. I don't need no, you know, and Piscean people are the same way. So you're not necessarily in good company when you know, even though you're, you know, you want to manifest money, obviously, of course, but you're not in good company when you're spending half of your money on a brand new car, because especially over here in Georgia, you know, if you got a car payment and the insurance are probably going to be about $150 or $200 a month, Insurance is extremely expensive over here in Georgia. Extremely. And they say it's supposed to go down after the first year, but it's ridiculous. So it's the same thing. Don't push yourself to necessarily fit in, but still learn to integrate yourself, and then to not allow those people to put a dark cloud over what you have. You know, that's just like me. I think my car is like a 1990 something. And I'm not going to sit up here and let somebody make me feel bad because I have an older car, or because like I said, I want one of them old hippie vans, for real. Like one of the old ones, you know, those are so, they're so cute, and they just make me feel nostalgic every time I see them, either in the movies or if I see people driving them or whatever. But, you know, the prosperity is going to come when you learn that lesson as well, because it's honestly not about who has more. It's not. And I think that a lot of you know that. And if you're focused on who has more and who has more numbers or whatever, that's just like me. There was a time when I only had 300 subscribers on this channel, but I still have people contacting me every day for readings from the moment I put my 12 videos up. You see what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily, you know, and so for me, it's going to be a lot different, and the story is going to be a lot different, and the situation is going to be a lot different. But, you know, that seems to be a very uncomfortable place for you. So you need to really be careful with the company that you keep, because you may have, you know, your values may be somewhere else. Yeah, you know, money is good. Yeah, I'm making money every day, but there are other things that you want to explore, because as soon as you make money, then all of your friends want to talk to you about spending the money. And, you know, it's not always good to overspend like that. So the Four of Pentacles is definitely saying to hold back. Hold back on the amount of money that you spent, because you worked hard to get there, and you don't want to just go and spend it all, you know, just to impress somebody. Definitely don't do that. I feel like a lot of y'all getting ready to make a purchase, and it's not necessarily what you want, but you're doing it to impress people. And that can include school or any other thing. Advice for the Pisces. You know, so what I'm saying is, just because you hang around a bunch of nurses doesn't mean that you have to go and be a nurse. Don't change your entire spiritual path just to please other people. Please yourself. Go for what you want. And if those people are like, I don't really know. I don't really know if you should do that. You know, why don't you just go on and go to nursing school? It's stable and da-da-da-da-da. Wait, you know, if you do something and you make a decision to go for a career just because of that, then you're going to end up being burned out very quickly, because it's not going to be what you want. So the Elder of Wands is saying that your journey will be more unique and genuine with you if you go for what you want and you do what you want. Okay? Because you might want to go into, you know, video gaming, or you may want to become a social media personality. And if those people that you mess with, if they don't accept that, then just, you don't necessarily, I mean, what you want to do is you want to cut them off from your head and don't allow them to put a dark cloud, because they want to control you. You can tell that there's a female here that wants to control you, and you're just going to have to deal with it. And you're just going to have to learn how to overcome it and to not allow. So definitely putting up your protection, and, you know, and then just riding the wave. That's what they're doing with the World card. You're just riding the wave of all of these people's emotions. And like I said, you definitely can put up spiritual protection from that, because sometimes I do get that empathic feeling, but it passes very quickly when I'm doing readings, because I wanted to make it so that I could more so see it, but not necessarily feel it, so that it'll just wipe me out for the rest of the day. Okay, you don't have to do that. You use your spiritual gifts and your spirituality the way you want to. Nobody else should dictate that to you. Okay. Anyway, any questions? Do you guys have any questions before I go? I've been meaning to do that before I leave and everything. You guys can put it in the chat. If you guys need private readings, the link to my website is below. I do provide phone, Skype, and video readings. And then also, if you are in need of spiritual work, you can either email me or you can just go straight to the website, because the spirits can already see you coming. So, you don't necessarily have to contact me, especially if you are a current client. You can just go to the website and just help yourself to whatever you want. Okay, so I'm not uptight like that. All right, so guys, have a happy Tuesday. Hopefully you guys will win your little wars and conflict and competitions, which is ultimately within yourself. And, if you guys are having a hard time pushing through there, then there may be blockages, and you can contact me or another experienced practitioner that is experienced in that. Okay, but of course, I'd rather you contact me, obviously. All right. I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Love, light, and blessings. Bye.